And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a special live OCS Finals event. As always, I am Dan Tartaglia, better known as DTartag1. So today we have the OCS Finals. I know it's a little bit short notice and everything, everyone, but Matthew Harrison Trainer and Justin Branch decided that because today is Thanksgiving, they want to give back to the community a little bit, and they are willing to play their finals. As you guys know, Justin Branch won over Brian Fred. He won over Paul Myers, and then he won over Chris Hall recently to get to the finals. Uh, Matthew Harrison Trainer beat Brad Kipple, Drew Lichtenstein, and Charlie Arlinson to get to the finals as well. They contacted me earlier this morning. We're like, "Hey, we're gonna play today," and here we are. We have the finals match. It is set and almost ready to go. Looks like Matthew Harrison Trainer he has put the game up, and once that game is live, we will have the finals. Sorry about that. I've got three monitors here, so that's why you saw a random magic image. So the game is set. Matt is going to play his dark side first. We interviewed him a little bit last night on Holo Theater, so hopefully he's going to go with one of the decks that we decided. That we talked a little bit about like his deck strategy and everything. And here we go. Silverglen on light side, Matt on dark side. OCS Finals, Game 1. Not sure if we're going to be playing Game 2, but that is a possibility. Matt going with Map. Silverglen going with HITCO. And there's the Starcase base location. Oh, that's spicy. We were actually talking a little bit about that. Like, that was a possibility. The new build gives up way, like it's a standard build, like a lot of people are playing it with Exegol and everything. This build is a little bit different. You're not going to see Exegol. You're not going to see the Emperor on the table. Okay, so there is I must be allowed to speak like my father before me, and Walkling for Silverglen. MHT is going to go with alert my Star Destroyer so he can get matching pilots onto his Star Destroyers. I'm excited for this match. MHT is the 3 seed. Silverglen is the 9 seed. And here we go. Game 1 of the OCS Finals. Making sure everybody knows that the game is live. And okay, both players getting their grabbers out as their first action. Matt activates 7. Again, he's using the Star Killer base location. It's interesting because with Map, you see a lot of people playing this new version of Map. And you only have one battleground location, that being the Jakku village. So with the Star Killer base system, you're able to pull out different sites, so that way you have different locations to go to. So let's see what spiciness Matt has here. He's going to go out and get the shield control. There's Jakku from his hand, so not a bad start for him. Believe he pulled the finalizer. Yes, he pulled finalizer with Bow to the First Order. Okay, so he had Jakku already, so he doesn't have to put a guy down to the landing site. And he is just going to draw some cards. So again, no Exegol throne room and no Emperor for Matt. So again, this is a little bit different of a build. Him and I actually talked a little bit after the show last night about like what he could possibly put into the deck to counteract some of the stuff that Silverglen plays. Silverglen is a Hitco slash Old Allies player, so those again are two very different ends of spectrum on the the light side meta. OA being a more controlled deck, HITCO going to be more of a I'm going to come down and fight you deck. So, no farm for a Silverglen. Oof, that's a rough turn and events for him. So let's see if he can if he's going to draw, and he is just going to draw some cards there. So MHT did save 4 cards in his force pile though. And we go into MHT's turn. So he's going to be getting 11 force to work with, plus the 4 that he saved. So he's got 15 to work with this turn. So maybe we'll see him go down with the finalizer and say like General Hux or maybe Captain Peavy. You can start going to Jakku and start draining for 1 there. Or sorry, it would be a drain of 2 there. Okay, he's going to go out and get another site. So there is the forest. So he's got out the majority of his locations already. Let's see. I mean, he could be playing another one. There is the finalizer. So he is going to go out and get a matching pilot. Silverglen drew up a few cards. He saved 5 force. So that's one thing between these two players is that they're very cognizant of saving force. Like they both like to save a lot of force in their force pile. Silverglen did draw up to 12 cards, though. Okay, there is General Hux coming down with the finalizer, so MHT is going to get a free use pile pool. And now he is threatening a drain of 2 next turn. Yeah, this was something like, I mean, a lot of people see this new map build, and where you play the Exegol Throne Room, you play the new Emperor, but the thing is, like, you're paying 4 force to draw a card each turn, when even MHT was saying last night, you can just draw 4 cards if you really want it. This is game 1. Good catch, though. Thank you. Yeah, this was a complete surprise to, I think, a lot of people this morning. Matt said to me that they are both not really Thanksgiving people, so they wanted to get the game in as quickly as they could. But no, I'm really excited to see this game. I've been looking forward to it since the this was set. So, okay, the finalizer and PV are both down. Matt drawing a card, getting up to 12 cards as well. Hux and PV are on the finalizer, threatening a drain of 2 for MHT next turn. So let's see what Silverglen's going to do on his turn to counteract that. Okay, there's the large moisture farm coming down. Luke going down to the moisture farm, so that's going to flip him and give him a use pile pool. So both players are going to be threatening drains of 2 on their respective turns next turn. Now, once Silverglen is flipped, he can start retrieving some cards, unless MHT decides to stack cards onto I Feel the Conflict. Glad to see some people are joining us today, watching the OCS Finals Game 1. Again, this is going to be at least Game 1, so we'll see what happens if we're going to get a Game 2 or not. Daughter of Skywalker coming down to the farm as well. So they're pretty entrenched now onto that farm. Daughter and Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight, not something to sneeze at. She's pretty good. Like, I actually like the Daughter of Skywalker a lot since she was printed. While at an end or sight, adds 1 icon here during battle, may target an opponent's character present, draw Destiny. If Destiny is greater than the ability, their power is -2, and game text is canceled. Your scouts here are immune to Sniper, UR beaten, and Attrition. Well, guess who's a scout? Luke Skywalker. So Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight is now immune to Attrition, or greater than 4. Well, he already has that. He's also immune to Sniper and UR beaten. That's pretty good right there. I'm not sure. I would assume he is playing Skywalkers. It's a pretty good card. Chewbacca Protector coming out of his deck as well from Quite a Mercenary V. He comes down for 2 force, giving Silverglen another use pile pool. That's pretty good right off the bat. So 3 use pod pools on his second turn. All right, that's what saving a bunch of cards in your force pile does for you. Good question, Scott. I'm I'm not 100% sure. Scotland Grell's asking who the agent is, going through the chat and everything. I don't think there was one. So I think Luke is the agent. Because you can't play Rey in this deck. So I think the only other agent is the new Han that you can play. So I'm assuming Luke is the agent. Just click on the objective. Okay. Resistance agent is Luke. Thank you. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, now he has no immunity. That makes sense. So, but he's still immune to sniper, and you are beaten. Okay, there's battle plan from Silverglen. He saves 3 force in his reserve or in his force pile. Both players, he did decide to retrieve with his objective, and MHT did not pay. He also did not pull a shield, so that was free retrieval from him. Okay, there's the impressive enforcement shield from MHT. Again, he is in his activate phase, so if he wants to drain here, he can. So now that Luke is over there, you got to think you have some sort of protection against Luke, Leia, and Chewie. So the other characters that you don't really want to see are like Obi-Wan, Yoda, Cal Kestis, Han. We might see like Silverglen playing a Han, Chewie, and the Falcon. So you got to think about that if you're MHT. Trying to think of what other characters you don't really want to see. Okay, so there is a drain of 2 at Jakku. Silverglen is going to lose 2 cards here. He's going to lose from off the top of his deck. There goes Lando Calrissian Scoundrel and a Jedi Presence off the top. Come here, you big coward, hits the table for MHT. So now that will stop Silverglen from retrieving. He's going to look for a site with his Starbase Killer system. No site to be found. He still has 15 force to work with this turn. MHT shuffles. Again, if MHT wins this, he'll be in the Outrider Cup. Justin Branch is already qualified for the Outrider Cup, so again, if MHT wins the OCS, he'll be in, unless Joe Olson decides to take him as the 6th and final pick with his captain's pick. Then Greg Shaw will be the 5th pick, or 5th person to make it into the Outrider Cup. So, see if Joe and Bastion want to hop on to Holo Theater this week, maybe preview the Outrider Cup. So make sure you stay tuned to that. MHT taking his time, deliberating on what he wants to do here. Again, Silverglen is threatening a drain of 2. Okay, Kylo Ren's shuttle going down to the forest. So we're going to see Kylo Ren hit the table. Yep, there he is. That's going to flip Silverglen back. Taking a card from the use pile with Bow to the First Order. So he's got his choice of 10 cards to choose from here. Okay, so he did decide on what he wanted to take. There's Kylo Ren's lightsaber coming down. And I think if you're MHT, you're going to want to reinforce that site. So interesting to see Lieutenant Dolfed Mitka going onto the shuttle here. This is telling me that correct, Scott. As long as Luke is alive and on the table, MHT will not be able to flip. But again, I was going to say, with Lieutenant Mitka on the shuttle, that is an indication to me that he's going to want to take the shuttle and put it up to Starkiller Base. Phasma coming down onto the shuttle as well. Interesting. Also, because MHT is playing the Impressive Enforcement shield, it tells me that he doesn't want to play the Do or Do Not shield. Because he is playing some sort of Sense and Alter in his deck. Or he just doesn't want a card to go. Doesn't want his card to go lost if Silverglen will cancel it with Sense and Alter. Interesting. So he takes off and runs up to Starkiller Base. Okay, Silverglen again will be able to drain for 3 here. MHT plays Imperial Command to attempt to take an Admiral or General into his hand. See if Silverglen wants to grab that. He does not grab it, so Admiral Shiranu is the Admiral that Matt grabs, and the command will go used. Okay, here's a drain of 3 from Silverglen at the farm. Or sorry, it's a it's a drain of 2 as he pays 3 for it. So let's see what Matt is going to lose here. There goes You Know What I've Come For from his hand. And he loses Lieutenant Dolfed Mitka from his hand as well. So once Silverglen drains there goes the Prophecy of the Force to the farm. I think he's a little wary of somebody coming down onto the forest, and there's the reason why. So Ahsoka Tano going down to the forest, threatening a drain of 2 there. She's pretty good. She's immune to attrition less than 5, and she's also immune to EPP characters such as like R. Singh with blaster rifle, Mara Jade with lightsaber. So she's a pretty good card, and Silverglen will go into his draw phase. He's going to attempt to retrieve one. He's going to attempt to retrieve the Lando Scoundrel. So let's see if Matt will put a card on I Feel the Conflict, and he does. There goes the Chimera onto I Feel the Conflict. He loses the Chimera from his hand. So Lando goes out of play. A little surprise there from Silverglen going with the Lando as his retrieval target. You had to assume that Matt was going to put a card onto I Feel the Conflict and cause the Lando to go out of play. Okay. So Silverglen will draw up, go up to 5 cards. He's got 5 cards in his force pile, 12 cards in his hand. And let's see what MHT is going to do here. Right now he's looking at a drain of 3 at the farm and 2 at the forest. I think him going down to the Starkiller base, and there's the a Monarch. Monarch lost from MHT. So Silverglen's going to have to reveal his hand. All multiples are going to go lost for him. Not only that, MHT is going to pay 4 force to take a look and see at what Silverglen has in his hand. Somewhere, MatthewHT is flipping a table over the Monarch. And we have a sense. So sense in recall being played. Silverglen will attempt to sense his Monarch, that Monarch that is currently being played. And sense from MHT. And then we have an altar from Silverglen. We have a good old-fashioned sack war. So the altar will cancel the sense from MHT. Then Silverglen will be able to draw. And oh, there's the control. So the control will cancel the altar. So MHT is able to draw Destiny to see if he can cancel the sense from Silverglen. So he's able to play the Monarch. So control set for stun goes to the lost pile. Altar goes to the lost pile. Now we are waiting on the response from Silverglen here to the sense again. Maybe he has an altar. Maybe he has a sense. No response yet. Nope, the sense goes through. He draws a 2 from Destiny. So MHT will cancel the sense from Silverglen and allow the Monarch to go lost. Now the Monarch was grabbed. So the sense goes lost for Silverglen. MHT's sense goes to the use pile. And the Monarch is on the grabber. And we have another sense. Oh my gosh. And he draws a 5, so the Monarch does get canceled. Wow. That was a sequence of events. So the Monarch is canceled, it is grabbed, and the sense goes to the use pile for Silverglen. So, and we move on. That was all at the start of MHT's control phase. General Grievous coming down onto Starkiller base. So let's see what. Let's see if we're going to see a battle here, or if we're going to see MHT just return the shuttle down to the forest and move everybody out. That's always a possibility. And that would allow MHT to block that drain of 2 at the forest, but again, Silverglen is starting a drain of 3 next turn at the farm. Admiral Shirnu going down onto the finalizer. That's going to add 1 to a force drain for MHT. Okay, the shuttle returns down to the forest, and I'm assuming everyone's going to get off of it. Yep, they do. Kylo Ren, General Grievous, Lieutenant Mitka, and Captain Phasma. That's a lot of power there for MHT. And again, Silverglen's Lando Calrissian Scoundrel is currently out of play. MHT is going to draw some cards and then end his turn. Now the question is, what were the cards in Silverglen's hand that were so valuable there that he used 2 copies of Sense? Were they the Sense? We saw him use 2 copies of Sense and Alter on that turn. Okay, here we go into Silverglen's turn. He's got 17 cards in his force pile, 9 cards in hand. I'm assuming we're going to see a drain of 3 here at the farm. And MHT does not have the control set for stun, so that drain most likely is going to go through. There's the drain of 3. MHT is going to lose some cards. He loses Supreme Leader Snoke, Grand Admiral Thrawn, and Min Canu. All of them off the top of his reserve deck. Oh, and Beru Alar is going down to the Moisture Farm. Interesting enough, this is a possible harvest. Let's see if Silverglen is playing the harvest or if he just wanted a deploy free power 4 character there. But right now, Silverglen's Ahsoka Tano is threatening down a beatdown there. Wise advice hitting the table for Silverglen. Again, Silverglen does occupy 2 battleground locations, so Come Here You Big Coward is no longer into effect. And there we have a Neighboring Leads. He draws a 4 for it. So he's going to attempt to transport all of his characters from the farm to the forest. MHT grabs the Neighboring Leads. Does he have he has Tarkin's order to cancel it. So Luke, Leia, Chewie, and Owen Beru Lars are stuck at the farm right now. Tarkin's orders goes to the lost pile for MHT, but it did its job. Let's see what Silverglen's going to do in response to the Tarkin's orders. Let's see if he changes up his plans somehow. He's in his move phase, and Ahsoka Tano will run away to live another day. And then Silverglen will recuperate some of the cards that he lost on his turn and draw some cards. We are still in Silverglen's draw phase, and he is on the 0 side of his objective, so no retrieval from him. Okay, right now MHT is threatening two drains himself this turn. A drain of 2 at the Force and a drain of 3 at Jakku. Okay, here we go. MHT's turn. He activates, and he does initiate the drain of 3 at Jakku. Now, he does not have to pay for his drains, as he occupies a battleground system and a battleground site, so battle order does not affect, or battle plan does not affect him. Yoda, Master of the Force, goes to the lost pile. Nabram leads off the top of Silverglen's deck, and Anakin Skywalker V from hand. Silverglen using his Prophecy of the Force to retrieve a card with Anakin in title. So he retrieves the Anakin Skywalker into his hand. There goes the drain of 2 at the Forest. Again, it is a drain of 1, but Kylo Ren's lightsaber adds 1. Heading for the medical frigate off the top of the reserve deck, and Luke Skywalker off the top as well. Now the Prophecy moves over to the Forest, so that drain of 3 is now only a drain of 2 there. So that's going to be important, everybody. MHT has 16 cards to work with this turn. He's got multiple options here. Well, the first thing he's going to do is check and see what his destinies are in his reserve deck. Searching out a card with the Starkiller base. And MHT will, Silverglen gets a verify, and we'll see a shuffle from MHT. Again, he is in his deploy phase, so let's see what he wants to do here. We are on turn 5. Both players have over 30 minutes left on their clocks. So at this point, if you're MHT, what other characters do you really fear? Obi-Wan with lightsaber is probably the big one at this point. As you saw, like Yoda going to the Lost Pile, you got to think like Obi-Wan with lightsaber is one of the big ones. Cal Kestis is another one, just because he's a rebel who's able to draw destiny. I'm trying to think of what other characters are the big ones that you really want to fear. I still think we're going to see like maybe a Han Chewie and the Falcon coming from Silverglen. So you want to have some sort of idea on what to do up in space if you're Silverglen. And Han Chewie and the Falcon is probably the best option. Still in MHT's deploy phase. He's taking his time, thinking about what he wants to do here. And Mara Jade with lightsaber coming down in front of Ahsoka Tano. Again, she is immune to the lightsaber here. But what's important is now we can see that MHT is occupying 3 battlegrounds, so he could essentially cap that drain of 2, that drain at the farm 2-2. And Asane Asard coming down as well. So Kirkanos and Asard coming down. Again, that's a lot of power. And we see our first battle of the game. Let's see if Silverglen has any reacts or anything. Nothing yet. And we go straight into Battle Destiny. Is a Destiny going to be? It's going to be a Destiny of 3 here. So 15 power for MHT. Waiting on Destiny from Silverglen. He draws a 6. So it's going to be 15 to 11 in favor of MHT. Silverglen down by 4. Multiple characters, or at least one character has to go lost for MHT here. There goes Mara Jade with the lightsaber. Silverglen deciding on whether or not to lose the the Ahsoka or to keep her on the table. MHT was going to be able to retrieve with Captain Phasma, but no troopers were found. And Silverglen is going to peel cards. He loses. Keep your eyes open from his hand. He loses another Ahsoka Tano from his hand. Still owes 2 more cards. Yeah, Mara Jade with lightsaber cannot swing, as Ahsoka Tano is immune to all permanent weapons. This little symbol indicates that if you have a character with a permanent weapon, she's immune. Silverglen still has 2 more to lose. He loses a blaster reflection from his hand and Luke's bionic hand from his force pile. We go into MH. We're still in MHT's battle phase. So Silverglen's going to play Luke Skywalker or Anakin Skywalker to pull a Luke or Leia into deck. None are there, so it is just putting a card back into his reserved or into his use pile here. See MHT get a verify on what cards are in Silverglen's reserve deck. We're probably going to see him move at least 1 or 2 characters over in front of the Ahsoka. You don't want him to come down with, like, say, an Obi-Wan with lightsaber and just overpower you there. So maybe General Grievous moving over. That would also give MHT the ability to, say, play Imperial Command, adding a destiny to adding a Battle Destiny with Grievous in the Imperial Command. And then probably going to see him draw a card and pass turn. Silverglen should initiate a drain at the farm. 1, you're doing 2 points of damage, but more importantly, you get the Prophecy of the Force off the forest and over to the farm. You want that. You don't want that just sitting around doing damage. No, that's Prophecy of the Force. While on a battleground, it adds 1 dark side and light side icon. And then it will just, if you initiate a drain where you have total ability greater than 5, it transports to that location. So, again, what we're going to do is we're going to see it just bounce around, essentially, this entire game. MHT decides to move the characters from the shield control over to the forest, and he does draw a card, so interesting to see him do that. I think he is a little weary of, say, like an Obi-Wan with lightsaber coming down. So Silverglen is going to be able to drain multiple locations this turn. He does have the force to do it. Okay, there's a drain of 2 at the shield control. There goes Imperial Command off the top of the reserve deck. FN 2199. There goes the Prophecy of the Force over to the shield control. Again, it's going to move as long as they have characters of total ability greater than 5. There's the drain of 2 at the farm. MHT's going to have to lose 2 cards again. There goes a Point Man off the top of the reserve deck. And the 9th Sister as well. So, I don't know about you guys, but it looks like we're in a kind of like a drain race at this point. Yoda, Master of the Force, going down to the village. Now, that's threatening a drain of 2 at that location now. Silverglen plays Ultimatum. So now that drain of 3 at Jakku will be capped at a drain of 2. Silverglen threatening drains of 2, 2, and 2 next turn. As we are going to see the Prophecy of the Force move over to the Forest, unless Silverglen decides to move the Ahsoka Tano in front of that, which I highly doubt. So Silverglen deploys Yoda and then will pass his turn after he pulls the Ultimatum Shield. He is going to draw some cards. Draws up to 11, saving 1, and will pass turn over to MHT. Before he does pass turn, he's going to play Escape Pod combo to cancel and prevent force loss from multiple targets. None of those are on their table, but it does allow him to put a 5 back into his deck. And he's going to put a card onto his force pile after he draws the last card, and then he does end his turn. So life force counts are 20 in life force for Silverglen, 10 in hand. MHT has 16 in life force, 7 in hand. Here we go. Drain of 2 at the Forest. Again, the Prophecy of the Force is going to move. There goes a Run Luke Run from Silverglen's hand. He's debating on what other card he wants to lose. He loses another Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight off the top of his reserve deck. So there goes that Prophecy of the Force moving. There's a drain of 2 at Jakku. Again, because Ultimatum is on the table, it is only a drain of 2 for MHT. There goes Draw Your Fire and quite a Mercenary off the top, both off the top of Silverglen's reserve deck. Moving into MHT's deploy phase. Let's see if he's going to do something about that Yoda or the Ahsoka Tano. He did save 2 cards in his reserve deck. And I don't think he did save the 2 cards. He would have been able to activate everything, but he saved 2 cards. Let's see what he's got here. Maybe we'll see like an Elos Helrot from MHT. MHT again thinking about what he wants to do here. He's sitting at under 25 minutes at this point. Silverglen ahead on time at 30, almost 32. So he moves out of his deploy phase into his move phase, skipping past his battle phase, obviously. And here we go. Kylo Ren moving in front of Ahsoka Tano. Kirkanos moving over as well. Isard moving. So Phasma, Dolfed, Mitka, and Grievous are currently sitting there. And nope, Phasma moves over as well. MHT moves everybody over in front of Ahsoka and allows the shuttle to take off up to Starkiller Base. So again, Silverglen is going to be doing 4 points of damage this turn with drains. Again, he does have to pay for the drains though. Yeah, Saiter, that was actually a card that him and I were talking about last night. Uh, I wonder if he did put it in. There was a few other cards that him and I were talking about that would have been spicy for this matchup. I'm not going to say anything else about them just because I wonder if he put them in the deck. That would be really, really fun. But we shall see. He is drawing a few cards though. Drawing up to 12 cards. Ooh. But yeah, Image of the Dark Lord would come in real handy right about now. MHT draws up to 12, it recirculates, and passes turn over to Silverglen. Silverglen activates everything. He has 2 cards left in his reserve deck. Again, he can spend 6 force to drain for 4 this turn. That would only give him 9 force to work with, though. There's a doer. There is no try shield from MHT. Okay, here we go. Drain of 2 at the large moisture farm. There goes Lightsaber Parry. Interesting. And a Kylo Ren. Both from hand. Lightsaber Parry. Battle initiated where you have a character armed with lightsaber. Characters may not be targeted by lightsabers for the remainder of turn. So kind of like a, I think it's the Jedi concentration for Dark Side. Drain of 2 at the village. MHT losing Sniper and Dark Strike from hand. And an Imperial Command as well. Into Silverglen's deploy phase. Let's see what he wants to do this turn. Will he go down and fight that stack at the control, the shield control? Or will he simply just run away? Again, that would be a drain of 3 there for MHT if Ultimatum was not on the table. Silverglen deciding, okay, he does go into his move phase, and he is going to move his characters around. There goes Ahsoka Tano to the forest. And Silverglen's going to draw. Now, what's going to happen is, even though MHT is, or even though Silverglen is starting to do a lot of damage to MHT, he's going to have to start paying for those drains, and his life force is going to run out. Both players are doing essentially 4 points of damage. Neither are retrieving at this point. But because Silverglen does not occupy a battleground system, he has to pay 3 to do those drains. He is, but the thing is, he is still ahead on life force, though. Okay, MHT is going to play Point Man, so he takes a card out of his force pile, putting the card back into his use pile. Current life force counts are 19 for MHT. Silverglen sitting at 26. So, Silverglen's up by 7 cards right now. But I think that number, again, is going to go down slowly because MHT does not have to pay for drains. But we could see. Though Silverglen is going to be able to retrieve one with Walkling at some point. Up goes the Walkling to the out of play location, so he does retrieve quite a mercenary V. Upping his again, so he's at 27 in life force. MHT is sitting at 19. And Silverglen continues to draw some cards. Now, Monarch is on the grabber for Silverglen, so maybe we would see him go past 13 cards in his hand, but he doesn't. He saves 4 cards in his force pile. And we move on to MHT's turn. He activates 8 force. He's got 2 force saved in his reserve deck. Again, if Ultimatum wasn't on the table, those would be drains of 3 and 3 for MHT. There goes a Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight from Silverglen's hand. And a Sensed Recoil and Fear as well. Both of those going to the lost pile from Silverglen's hand. There's a drain of 2 at the shield control. Again, it would be a drain of 3, but because Ultimatum is on the table, it is only a drain of 2. And so at this point, lost piles are very similar between the two players. I haven't actually had any turkey yet. I just took some extra stuff to help me sleep last night, and it hasn't worn out of my system yet. Okay, there goes Anakin Skywalker from Silverglen's hand. And another Luke from Force Pile. So if MHT is able to get rid of Luke, that's a lot of Lukes in the lost pile for Silverglen. But I think Luke is pretty safe over there at the farm. I mean, if MHT had like Mara J with lightsaber or Iris Thing in his hand, he could just go down with those, try and swing at Luke and get him off the table. That'd be a little spicy. Well, he would need his Gick though, but I doubt he's able to do that. Still in MHT's control phase. He's thinking about what he wants to do this turn. Is he just going to move over in front of the Ahsoka Tano, or is he going to try and get rid of either the Yoda or the Ahsoka? If he can get rid of those and get Silverglen off of Ultimatum, that would be really big for him. The Prophecy of the Force does move over to the Starkiller base shield control. Here we go into MHT's deploy phase. Let's see what he's going to do this turn. MHT's got to do something other than just moving his characters around. Now, he could leave some characters at the shield control, but he decides... I mean, he could move some, leave some characters there, and it would be a drain of 2. But here we go. Legion General Pride coming down in front of Yoda. Could easily see him just shuttle down that General Hux to the village. Pride does not draw Destiny on his own right now. But he does block that drain of 2. Still in MHT's deploy phase. Let's see what he's going to do. He's got to come down with some other character. I think he's just trying to outpower Yoda at this point. Not sure if we're going to see a drain. Okay, so he does go out of his deploy phase and into his move phase. Hux does shuttle down. PV coming down as well. Kylo Ren moves in front of Ahsoka. Shuttle joining Kylo Ren. That would add a Destiny 2 power for MHT. Still think you want to put somebody over there as well. So now Silverglen is only going to be threatening a drain of 2 this turn. Kyrkanos moves over as well, bringing his power up to 12. Isard moves, upping his power to 14. I think that's all you need there. I mean, you got a lightsaber. You can easily... You just want to win the battle, because then you can do 2 points of damage to Silverglen. Okay, he does draw a card out of his force pile. And he will pass turn. So this is going to be the turn that I'm wondering if Silverglen is playing Han Chewing the Falcon V. If he is, this could be really bad for MHT up in space. Unless, of course, he's got like an Imperial barrier. Silverglen is going to be able to activate everything out of his reserve deck this turn if he wants to. MHT did a nice job of blocking both those 2 of those drains from Silverglen. Okay, we go into Silverglen's next turn. Currently in Silverglen's turn 7. Oh, that's right. Chewie's on the table, so no HCF. Good call. I forgot all about that. Thank you. Yeah, Chewie is on the table. He is sitting at the farm since turn 2. So, yeah, the likelihood of us seeing Han Chewing the Falcon is slim to none. Okay, quite a mercenary V. Silverglen plays quite a mercenary V. So maybe we'll see like Obi-Wan with lightsaber this turn. Giving him a way to check his destinies and everything. I think MHT realized that he can't play Han Chewing the Falcon, so good on him and bad on me. Silverglen into his activate phase. See if he goes into his control phase here or stays around in his activate phase to activate the last 3 cards of his reserve deck. Current life force counts for both players. 23 for Silverglen. MHT is sitting at 18. Again, this is going to be before Silverglen drains MHT on his turn. Okay, he saves his 3 cards, and he will go into the control phase, draining for 2. I'm going to need some coffee after this game. There goes an Imperial Command from MHT's hand. So there's 1 more card to lose here. Lost pile counts are currently even after MHT loses this last card. See, what will MHT lose? He still, again, he has 1 more card to lose from this force drain. After he loses the card, the Prophecy of the Force will transport over to the Large Moisture Farm. There goes Appointment off the top of MHT's reserve deck. Prophecy of the Force transports over to the farm. We're now in Silverglen's deploy phase. There's the Obi-Wan with lightsaber. Does MHT have a barrier or anything to stop that Obi-Wan from fighting this turn? Yes, he does. There's the Imperial barrier. That barrier is going to go through as long as Silverglen doesn't have a sense or Skywalkers. He plays the Skywalkers to cancel the barrier. The barrier goes to the lost pile. Skywalkers hits the lost pile as well. Lightside doesn't need starships at this point. Here we go. Initiate a battle for free from Silverglen. Hux, PV, and Legion General Pride versus Obi-Wan with lightsaber and Master Yoda. Obi-Wan swings at PV, draws a 4 for this first Destiny. Draws a 3 for the second Destiny, so that's going to hit PV. So multiple characters are going to go lost for MHT here. There's the Imperial Command from MHT, so he's going to get 2 Battle Destiny. And there's the Jedi presence. Making Obi-Wan's with lightsabers power double. Currently sitting at 13 to 11 in favor of Silverglen. This is, again, before Battle Destiny. Silverglen draws a 5, bringing him up to 18. MHT draws Lieutenant Dofeld Mickett for his first Destiny. He decides to lose Mika, and he draws a 8 for the second one. Bring him up to 20, so he does win the battle. But he is going to have to lose multiple characters. There goes Obi-Wan to the lost pile. PV hits the lost pile for MHT. And Pride goes as well. Ahsoka Tano runs over into the shield control location. And Silverglen draws the last card in his force pile. Silverglen sitting at 20 cards, hand and life force. He puts a card back with Like My Father Before Me. He still has 20 cards, hand and life force. MHT has 14 hand and life force. Again, MHT is going to be able to draw for 2 and 2 drain for 2 and 2 this turn. That will bring Silverglen down to 16. Drain for 2 at the forest. See what Silverglen's going to lose to this drain of 2. There goes Blaster Deflection from his hand. And Clash of Sabers. Drain of 2 at Jakku. Silverglen will lose. Free ride combo from the top of his reserve deck. And Abram leads as well. FN 2003 coming down to the control setter. So that would give MHT 2 Battle Destiny there. And we have another battle, this one at the shield control. 2 Battle Destiny for MHT, 1 for Silverglen. No response. So here we go into Battle Destiny. That's going to be a 3 for MHT. As long as he draws a 3 or higher, that's going to get rid of Ahsoka. There's a 4, so Ahsoka will go to the lost pile after this battle. 20 power for MHT. Silverglen draws a 3. So it's going to be 20 to 8. Phasma will be able to retrieve here. And he does. He retrieves 21.99. Lieutenant Mika goes to the lost pile. Again, Ahsoka goes to the lost pile. That's 5 and overflow for Silverglen. Silverglen has the Hojix, so he will not take overflow, but he is offered resistance now. Both players with 3 cards in their hand. Going to MHT's move phase. Hux will have to get off of Jakku at some point. Again, well, unless MHT has his Gick in his hand, he could just leave Hux there. But no, Hux evacuates Jakku and goes up to the finalizer. Silverglen threatening a drain of 2 and 2 next turn. That would bring MHT to 10 cards hand and life force. Silverglen sitting at 15 hand and life force currently. But right now, MHT is going to be threatening a drain of 7 next turn. That's going to be big. And that will end MHT's turn. He did draw a card. And now we are into Silverglen's turn. Let's see what Silverglen's going to do this turn. I am expecting to see at least 2 drains here, but does he have another character to get onto the field? Tarkin's orders will cancel the drain at Jakku. That is big. Drain of 3 at the Mars Moisture Farm. Or drain pays 3 to drain for 2 at the Moisture Farm. He's got 6 force left this turn. Prophecy of the Force does move over. Silverglen still in his control phase. Does he want to get somebody down to one of those Starkiller sites? Or will he go to the Endor village? If he goes down to the Endor village, he will occupy Ultimatum again. Jyn Erso going down to the shield control. That will block that drain of 2 there. Silverglen going into his draw phase. He has 11 cards in life force, 3 in hand. MHT has 11 in life force, 1 in hand. So this is a very, very tight game, everybody. Silverglen will draw up, ending his turn. Again, he does not occupy Ultimatum, so MHT is going to be able to do 5 points of damage this turn. MHT will activate everything. Drains for 2 at the Starkiller base. There goes a Run Luke Run from Silverglen's hand and a lightsaber proficiency. Drain of 3 at Jakku. Corn Horn going to the lost pile. Luke's Bionic Hand as well. And Owen Brule Lars. Silverglen says 1 card in his hand. He's got 8 cards in his life force. MHT has multiple options here. If he can draw to that Tarkin's orders, he can cancel that drain at Jakku again. He can also move Isard in front of Jyn Erso, as Silverglen does not have a card in his force pile to move her. And then he can break her cover. Into MHT's deploy phase. Let's see what he's going to do here. He is under 10 minutes right now. Silverglen sitting at 20. Isard does move over. Again, this will allow MHT to break her cover, and he does. Admiral Shirnu shuttles down, along with Hux, blocking the drain of 2 at Jakku. And he moves his guys around on the Starkiller base. He loses General Grievous's game text to attempt to steal a lightsaber. No lightsaber is found there. And he will end his turn. He's got 2 cards in his hand. 10 in his life force. Silverglen. 9 cards in hand in life force. Here we go. Drain of 2. Saj Ventress and Imperial Barrier, both from MHT's hand. Prophecy moves. Silverglen saves 1 card in his reserve deck. Ezra Bridger coming down to Jakku. And we have a battle. Yoda and Ezra Bridger versus Hux and Shirnu, just like in the movies. Drawing a 3 for Battle Destiny. That will be 13-6 before MHT draws. Yeah, Silverglen hasn't really deployed much. MHT draws a 3 for Battle Destiny. He will have to stack a card here. He's down by 4 into He's down by 4, a difference of 4. He can lose either character. Ezra Bridger will have to go to Lost Pal for Silverglen. MHT stacks the card that he just drew for Destiny onto the I Feel the Conflict and will lose Hux. Still in Silverglen's battle phase. And he is going to initiate a battle with Jin Urso at the shield control. MHT is getting to Destiny, but before we go to that, FN2003 will attempt to shoot Jin Urso, canceling the game text and preventing her from firing any weapons. No Destiny can be drawn, and she will not be able to utilize her peeking at MHT's hand, but those don't really matter. Draws a 3 Silverglen, shows the GG. So it looks like he's just going to sacrifice all of his cards in his life force. No cards are found for MHT, so he is not able to retrieve any, and Silverglen will just peel cards to end this first game. MHT wins game 1 by 9. Okay, there was a possibility of them playing game 2 today. Let's figure out if they are going to be playing game 2. Again, MHT won the first game by 9. Silverglen has 41 and lost to 28 in MHT. So they are currently talking about this game and some of the mistakes that both of them played. But the question now is, will they play game 2? Okay, MHT is asking, do they want to play the second game right now? And they will. So we're going to have both games being played today, everybody. Looks like they're going to take about a 10-minute break. So once they come back, we'll have game 2. This is exciting. Again, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And we'll be back right after this short little break. Stay tuned for game 2. Okay, welcome back, everybody, and yeah, here we go, game two. So those who didn't watch game one, let's just do a little quick recap. MHT played Map. I want that map, and Silverglen played HITCO. MHT ended up winning game one by 9. I know they said they were going to take a 10-minute break. I'm sorry, my family decided to call me right and during the break and everything, and I have a typical Italian family where I have to say hi to everybody. But yeah, so it looks like we're going to get game two here today, everybody. I'm excited to see the finals of the OCS playoffs today and see what happens. So MHT is going to be on light side this turn, and Silverglen is going to be on dark side. So let's get back into the match and see what happens. So again, to just recap, MHT won game one by 9. He had 41 in loss piles. Silverglen had Silverglen had 41 in lost piles. MHT had 28, I believe it was. to 41. So it looks like Silverglen is playing the Kyle Kruger variant of Set Your Course to Alderaan. MHT is playing Qui-Gon Quimunning. So instead of playing the the Jada site, he's playing Alderaan. So maybe this is a different Silverglen variant of the deck. So again, sorry about the delay and everything, but here we go, game two of the OCS finals. Let's get it rolling, everybody. Silverglen, MHT. MHT won game one by 9. So Silverglen went out and got he's using short range fighters to take a starship. He grabs Slave 1, Symbol of Fear. He is starting Combat Response V, Quat Drive Yards V, Something Special Planned for Them V. MatthewHT Trainer is playing Walkling V, Another Pathetic Life Form non V, and Slightar Calfess V. MatthewHT Trainer plays Rebel Leadership to go out and get a general or an admiral. Or is it just a general? Yeah, pull a general or an admiral. Silverglen does grab that with Something Special Planned for Them. He does grab General Leia Organa. There's a double back, so that will allow Silverglen to pull either Boba Fett or Forlom or a Dengar. He does pull Forlom Virtual. Wisa got a Grand Army, allowing MHT to pull either the Boss Nash Chambers or the Battle Planes. He does pull the Boss Nash Chambers. So a lot of early action from our players. And there's the first defensive shield from either player. Both players pull their grabbers. And we should start. Silverglen activates his 5 force. Again, if Silverglen wins this game, he would have to win it by more than 9 to take the OCS match. Otherwise, MHT will be crowned your OCS champion for the 2021 year. Not only that, he will be into the Outrider Cup for this year. Okay, there's the Death Star War Room hitting the table for Silverglen. Possibly going to see him pull a system here. Now, if he plays a character to the docking bay, he would occupy a battleground site, and not only that, so with his objective, while it's on the 0 side, you can't force drain there, but more importantly, at Death Star sites, your force drains, you cannot force drain, and battle damage against you is canceled. So if MHT was going to come down and battle, Silverglen wouldn't take any battle damage. The Emperor goes down to the docking bay, so an early Emperor to the docking bay for Silverglen. And he will recirculate and pass turn over to MHT. MHT activating 7 this turn. We know he's got the Boss Nash Chambers in his hand. We also know that he's got Leia Organa in his hand. Sorry, General Leia Organa. Okay, he's going to use his Quimunning Epic Event to look at the top cards of his force pile. He decides, he activates 3 and then does it. Interesting. He's still in his activate phase, so let's see. He's going to put the card on the bottom of his force pile. Oop, sorry about that. There is the Do or Do Not shield from MHT. Boss Nash Chamber, come down to the table. He also used Master Qui-Gon, an old friend, so he put a card onto his use pile. And he drew the top card of his force pile, so he's only got 6 force to work with. There's a Speak with the Jedi Council chamber. Or the Speak with the Jedi Council, so he can pull the Jedi Council chamber this turn if he wants to. Okay, so Speaks comes down, and MHT is now able to activate 12 on his next turn. Okay, he is going to draw some cards this turn. Again, he isn't facing down a Force Drain or anything, so he doesn't really have to worry about the Emperor right now. Going into Silverglen's next turn, he activates 8, uses the Emperor to take Force Lightning out of his deck and into his hand. He does miss, so MHT does get a free verify. It's going to be interesting to see what type of cards Silverglen is packing as like counters and stuff. I know that this deck usually runs like a Voyeur and stuff like that, so maybe he's playing Voyeur, maybe he's playing some interesting stuff. He does sigh in the chat, so maybe he's sad that he missed his Force Lightning pool. I'm not sure. But there are a lot of non-battlegrounds on the table, so Kashyyyk hits the table. So maybe he's not sighing about the fact that he doesn't have the... I was going to say, maybe he's not sighing about the fact that he doesn't have the Force Lightning. Maybe he's sighing about the fact that there was no Boba Fett. But there is Boba Fett. He does hit the table for 6 Force. That would allow Silverglen to now drain for 2 up in space. And he will pass turn. He has no Force saved in his Force pile. MHT activates 13. See what he's going to do this turn. Again, he's going to use the Quimunning to check out what's on his deck and everything. Peeks at the top card. Now, again, he can put a card back into his use pile and thus take the top card of his Force pile off. So, if he likes it, he could easily just get access to the top card of his Force pile. I mean, he can do that either way if he doesn't like it or not, so he's got a lot he can do this turn. And he is going to take the top card of his Force pile into hand. Again, I really like. Again, I'm not a mains player or anything, but I do like the thematicness of these deck. Okay, he's going to check out his deck with the Boss Nest once per game pool. I'm assuming there's no Boss Nest in there, so Silverglen will get a free verify. Now we know that MHT does have a General Layer Organa in his hand. And there is Anakin Skywalker, Jedi Knight, going down to the Death Star docking bay. Anakin in all of his glory, even as the AI. So, Anakin, while armed with a lightsaber, adds 2 to his defense value. During battle, may lose 2 to add 1 destiny. Immune to attrition less than 6. There's the I don't like sand effect. MHT has We Still Got a Grand Army and Speak with the Jedi Council on it. Anakin's lightsaber is on Anakin. Again, Silverglen will take no battle damage, but more importantly, he could easily hit that Emperor and get him off the table, and then play battle plan to make Silverglen pay to drain for 2 up in space. He still has 5 force in his force pile here. But we are going to see a battle. Anakin versus the Emperor at the Death Star. Anakin will swing. Force field hits the table. Anakin will not be able to target the Emperor. So the Emperor will live. Come here, you big coward. Comes out. So Silverglen will not lose the Emperor. Will not take any battle damage. MHT draws a 4 for Destiny. Silverglen plays Come Here, You Big Coward. So just in case he wants to move Anakin over and then start draining there, he won't be able to. Nothing happens. Both characters are immune. No battle damage for Silverglen, so nothing happens in that battle. And the game will continue. MHT is going to draw and pass his turn, thus allowing Silverglen to drain for 2 up in space. MHT saves 2 cards in his deck, or in his force pile, indicating that he might want to play a Clash of Sabers. He's going to peek at the top card of his force pile, and he does put it on the bottom of his force pile this time. There's the drain of 2 at Kashyyyk. Kashyyyk, as it's known normally. However, if you're watching the Star Wars holiday special, and you're wondering how they pronounce it, is they pronounce it Kazook. Learned that the other day. Again, it is a drain of 2 at that battleground system. MHT will lose Leia's blaster rifle from his hand. Let's see what else he's going to lose here. He's going to lose lightsaber proficiency off the top of his deck. Forlob comes down to the Death Star War Room, allowing Silverglen to start recirculating cards in his hand, putting cards back into his deck to draw cards. And he does do that, so he puts the card on the bottom of his use pile to take the top card of his reserve deck. He's got 4 cards left in his hand. Will he abandon the docking bay, or will he do something about it this turn? He uses his objective to look for a card with Death Star in it. in the title. He misses, so MHT does get a free verify. Silverglen shuffles up his deck. He's still in his deploy phase, so we can see him coming down with another character. There's first strike. So it does look like he's going to attempt to battle this turn. MHT plays his aim high shield. Aim high to the defensive shield that Joe also will never ever forget to play. Silverglen initiates. And he will retrieve with first strike. MHT does have to lose one to the first strike. He'll lose Luke Skywalker, the Last Jedi, off the top of his reserve deck. Anakin will again swing at the Emperor. And there's another force field. Will MHT grab it this time? No, it goes to the use pile. Again, both players are only getting one destiny right now. MHT activates one with another pathetic life form. Silverglen only has 2 cards left in his hand. Action is on MHT. He does take a card off of the I Don't Like Sand effect. He takes off the Speak with the Jedi Council. Silverglen draws a 5 for Battle Destiny. Again, it is that copy of the SF laser cannon. And MHT draws a 0 for Battle Destiny, so he will lose 1 card in this battle. What will he lose? He loses the Speak with the Jedi Council chamber that he took off the sand effect. We go into Silverglen's next, into his move phase. Will he run away with the Emperor? No, he will not. The Emperor will stand down and hold down that docking bay as best of his ability. The Emperor will not go quiet into the night. He will stand his ground. MHT interrupts Silverglen's draw phase to use Master Qui-Gon to take a card into his hand from his force pile. Again, he's able to put his high destiny cards that he wants back into his deck as much as he can with the Qui-Gon that is currently not in play. Qui-Gon helping Anakin from the as a Force Ghost. Okay, here we go. Into MHT's next turn. He's got 15 Force to work with. He's going to first use his Quimunning epic event again. We're going to see a lot of that, I'm assuming, this game. I did it again. And he is going to put a card back into his use pile to take a card into hand. He did like what he saw in his force pile, and he does want it in his hand. Will it be a character? Will it be something to come down? He has Mace Windu coming down to the Death Star. Just like in the movie, Mace Windu, Anakin Skywalker versus the Emperor. This is probably the most thematic portion of the entire 3-part trilogy, the prequel trilogy. I know it's not at his office But it's still Anakin and Mace against the Emperor. That's kind of cool. Mace has his lightsaber. That's going to be 3 swings for MHT at the Emperor. Mace is immune to attrition less than 8. Anakin immune to attrition less than 6. Mace still has 7 cards left. He's going to attempt to pull that 0 that he drew for Battle Destiny last turn out of his deck. And he does get it. Putting another battleground location on the table. Will he put somebody there? He does. Luke Skywalker, the Last Jedi, hits the table, thus turning off Come Here, You Big Coward. Secret Plans played by Silverglen. In response, Luke getting his lightsaber. So that's a lot of lightsabers out on the table for MHT. And we have another battle at the docking bay. Secret Plans making MHT use 1 if he wants to retrieve a card with first strike. Regardless, if he does not, Silverglen will lose a card here. MHT does pay 1 to retrieve that Speak with the Jedi Council. And there goes a black 2 from Silverglen's hand. Mace swinging at the Emperor. Draws a 1 for the first Destiny. Draws a 3 for the second one. The first swing will not hit the Emperor. He still has 2 more swings to go. Mace swings again. Draws a 4 for that Destiny. If he draws a 4 or higher, the Emperor will be hit and off the table. He draws a 5. The Emperor is hit. But Silverglen has the close call, so subtract 3. It goes to the lost pile, so the Emperor is not hit. Just like in Episode 3, the Emperor sneaks away from Mace Windu. Anakin fires at the Emperor. Draws a 6.28319. And so forth for his first Destiny. Draws Mace Windu for a 2. Guess what? That's going to hit the Emperor unless another close call is played. No other close call will be played, and the Emperor is now hit. Battle Destiny time. MHT draws a 4. Again, Silverglen will not take battle damage in this fight. But more importantly, the Emperor is off the table. Silverglen draws a 5. Both characters are immune for MHT. So only the Emperor will be lost. And right after that battle, MHT plays Battle Plan to make Silverglen pay to drain up in space. And that will be MHT's turn. Go into Silverglen's turn 4. He uses Forlom with Concussion Rifle. MHT uses another Pathetic Lifeform to activate a force. MHT checking out that card in his force pile. Again, right now, MHT and Silverglen will have to pay to drain. And there's Silverglen draining for 2 up in space. MHT, I think, is perfectly fine with that. There goes a Weapon of a Fallen Master. That's a card we haven't seen in a while. If a non-permanent lightsaber was just lost or stolen from a site, deploy on your character of ability 4 at the same location. Relocate that lightsaber to this character who may use that lightsaber, and it may not be stolen. Immune to control. Interesting. I mean, that's a interesting little card. And Hear Me Baby Hold Together, going lost from the reserve deck. Both Hear Me Baby Hold Together and Weapon of a Fallen Master go from the reserve deck for MHT. MHT is threatening a drain of 3 and 3 next turn. And I think he's perfectly fine with paying to drain for those 2 drains. Silverglen currently has 4 cards in hand. MHT 6 in his hand. Thank you. In Silverglen's deploy phase, what will he do this turn? Again, he could come down with the character to the Death Star docking bay, initiate a battle, and then retrieve one if he wanted to, thus making Silverglen lose a force there. Now, the important thing is, even though MHT has 2 lightsabers, Silverglen will not take battle damage. Silverglen says he's picked MHT to not play mains. He can't beat him. He says GG and congratulations. MHT will win the OCS finals. That's it, everybody. Congrats to MHT for making the finals and winning it. Silverglen, great job, man. I got to congratulate both players on a well-played finals. The first game was so great. It was a back and forth. And this was an exciting finals. Congrats to both players on a well-played OCS. I want to thank everybody who made it in the top 16. This 10-month-long grind is now coming to an end. The top 16 was phenomenal. Everybody who made it played really well. They were all classy gentlemen. You could not script a finals like this. 2 teammates playing, both clearly happy for each other. And, yeah. Again, I want to thank the PC for putting this on, Chris Goglin for taking the time to make sure that these OCS went through. He's put a lot of work behind the scenes doing this, the tournament committee, Jared for getting everything out today, all the prizes and everything. Scott, Chris Kelly for designing all these wonderful cards that we're now playing. Without him and all the design team, we wouldn't still be going on. So again, thanks to everybody who participated. I'm excited for the Outrider Cup. Looks like Matthew Harrison Trainer will be joining Paul Myers, Joe Olson, Justin Desai, and Hayes Hunter, a part of Team USA, facing off against at least Bastian Winklehouse and Justin Branch. So maybe Justin will, or maybe he will get his revenge on MHT in the Outrider Cup. So again, thanks to everybody who put this together. It has been my pleasure to host this today. And as always, we'll see everybody on Holo Theater. Probably not going to have MHT on as he was just on this week, but we'll definitely mention it on Holo Theater this week. I'd love to get Joe and Bastian on talking about the Outrider Cup. Also, the Jawa Cup is still going on. Make sure you get your games in by Sunday. Right now on GEMP, make sure you get games in. I know that Batmouse last night said that there is a prize for whoever gets 50 games in. So, yeah, a lot of exciting things going on in the Star Wars CCG world. Make sure if you want to register, if you want to go to the NPC, make sure you get registered, as both the registration and the hotel link are live and out there. And then, yeah, I think that's all I got for today. So again, thanks. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving for us out here in America. For those on the rest of the world, enjoy your Thursday. And I will see everybody next Wednesday on Holo Theater. Until then, take care and have a good weekend.